Hello there! This is a review of the Mega Bloks Halo EVA's Last Stand set with 169 pieces for ages 8 and up, released in 2011, and originally it retailed for $19.99 US. Okay, so as you can see, there are a few items. We have two hunters, which we'll take a look at later. We have an EVA Spartan figure with an assault rifle as well, which is very nice. And of course, we have this broken down warthog and terrain. And apparently, we also have a shrub piece which wants to come off all the time. Okay, if we move the hunters out the way, we'll take a look at the set itself. So first of all, we've got a loose wheel, which can be used to turn the set from a damaged warthog into a full warthog, but that of course requires the rocket hog from the AA turret is the one that they recommend in the instructions, because of course they do tell you can do it in the instructions, but you need to follow the steps for the rocket hog from the AA gun, and it doesn't include all the parts to convert it, which I'd say is probably the worst part of this set, is that you can't convert it into a complete warthog, because that would mean, you know, you could have another warthog for your collection of warthogs, as opposed to having to sacrifice one for the greater good, you know. And generally speaking, you're better off having a green warthog over a mammoth rust sort of color. You can just about remove the warthog like so, and so there's a lot of damaged elements on this here terrain plate, which is of course a small or rather medium-sized dragon's plate, which is very nice. It's always good to get more dragon's plates in green, especially if you're unable to pick up the old 2002 sets, or the King Arthur. The one King Arthur set that included a dragon's terrain plate was, I believe it's the same color as this. I don't have that one myself, but I think it's the same color as this, if I recall correctly. Various pieces that have fallen off. Comes with a tiny terrain plate / big rock piece, and a rock piece which can of course be placed on top of this if you so wish, or you can leave it like that. This is how they suggest you do it in the instructions, more or less. We've got more pieces. We've got the headlights here. We've got a part of the bonnet. We've got a chair here and a couple of 1x1 snot bricks, and we also have a couple of 1x1 plates as well. 1x4 plates, and then this sort of double T element, which is sort of the thing that goes on top of the driver's area of the warthog. So this is a great set. I would recommend it. In terms of the set itself, we'll take a look at the figures in a minute, but I'd say this is a great one to get if you want parts, if you want, you know, if you want terrain, if you just want it to display, you know, something a bit unique. Even if, you know, if you just want something unique for your collection, it's a great option to have. I'd highly recommend the set itself. Let's see what I think of the figures, shall we? Okay, here are the two Covenant figures. Right here we have hunters. I know a lot of people in the Halo community, or the Mega Bloks, Mega Constructs Halo community, they basically say this is just good for a hunter army builder set, and now it's pretty much pointless because they've updated the hunter design now to be super articulated with, I believe, the Cabal size, so same size as the Cabal figures from Destiny, the big phalanx or whatever they're called, those dudes. So these are a bit pointless, but they're still good, even if there's better ones out there. This is still a great set to have if you want lots and lots of hunters for something. Hunter home planet, I don't know, whatever you want to do, wherever they come from. I don't know everything about the Halo lore. They're identical, so we'll get rid of one, take a look at the other one. So on one arm we have the fuel rod gun, which has got these nice spikes on it. I think it's a fuel rod gun. In my opinion, the mold is good, although I think the paint here is a bit sloppy. Paint isn't as sloppy for the other one, but you know, just depends on the figure that you get. Of course, he does articulate, not super articulation, modern articulation, but you know, old style articulation. He's got all the same articulation points. His waist is actually on a ball joint, which is different, so you can have him bending down in some interesting positions. Of course, his other arm has got the shield on it, which is 2 pieces, so this one can sort of move around if you want. This piece can also move around, so they both come out of the arm. His legs there and feet, they're nothing interesting. His feet have to attach onto 3x1 plates or anything bigger than a 3x1. So it's not the same 1x1. It's 3 studs. 1, 2, 3. He's got 6 of these spike things on his back, and they come out. So if you put them in individually, they can be a bit of a pain to put in, but you know, it's not the end of the world trying to get them to fit in. So those are the hunters. I think they're good. I think the blue, dark blue was a good option. I think I prefer it over purple, like the one that they had in the Wolverine and the Arctic Wolverine. You know, I just don't think that that the purple is as good of an option. So I would highly recommend the figures, or the hunters, in the set. Let's take a look at the EVA. Okay, so here is the EVA Spartan. Before I start looking at the figure itself, I just want to point out the oversized assault rifle. Of course, it's the old style, not the new style, obviously. I think I would have preferred a Halo Reach assault rifle, just because, you know, EVAs appear predominantly in Halo Reach. The EVA Spartan, he's green, obviously. He's got a warm gold visor, which is slightly different to the regular visor that we're used to these days. Here's a look at him from the back. Obviously, he's old articulation, so he's superior to the modern figures. Although, if you want if you want to upgrade this to full articulation, then you can merely just grab a few random bits and bobs and just customize him a bit. If you get a new articulation, torso, arms, legs, etc., just pop the head off. You'd have to be careful because obviously the old articulation figures, the head can be a bit stiff. It's not as rubbery as the new ones, so it can be prone to breaking. I know I've seen a couple snap. I've never had any of mine snap, but I've seen a couple snap. And I've actually had a couple of snap hunters from used sets and stuff, the neck element snap. So just be warned, customizing old style figures. Okay, so overall I would recommend the set. It's got some useful pieces, it's a good design. The figures are great, it's good if you want more hunters for your collection. Cheap and easy way to get more hunters, which is good. The build itself is great. The inclusion of terrain pieces in a Halo set, or the Dragon style terrain pieces in a Halo set, is very uncommon. I'm pretty sure this is one of the last sets to ever include the larger size Dragon's elements. Of course, the rock piece is still available today, but aside from that, I think pretty much all the Dragon's exclusive elements are no longer in production, which is a bit of a shame. But I reckon that just about concludes the video. Keep your eyes peeled for the next one, which is going to be the Covenant Assault. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Very cool.